Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the last day of the OpenStack Manila PTG. All of the sessions have been recorded so far. So if you refer to this link here, I should possibly get a bigger font size for this. If you missed something, you'd like to check it out, it's also a part of this Etherpad. This is the PTG Etherpad, which is also the default Etherpad in the MeetPad tool. So all of the recordings are already here. I've uploaded all of the videos so far up to yesterday's discussions. So if you missed something, check it out. The videos are like broken into a couple of discussions at a time. Usually they take around 1 hour or even less. So if you miss something, yeah, don't hesitate to check it. And then if you need something, you can just ask us, and you can ping on the discussions. Right. Without further ado, we have a bunch of topics to cover today, and I believe we can start with the NetApp REST stuff. I think this is a common theme for all of the for I don't know the engineering of the NetApp engineering. Also, some Red Hat engineers trying to get a status, or the community trying to get a status on what this thing that's started. So, Gautam, would you like to take the lead on this topic?
Hey, yes, I can ask some questions. Thanks, Carlos. Um, yeah, so I think we've had this REST API support for a long time now. It could have been from the Yoga or the Z release that things started. And I suppose at that time we were looking at uh, a deprecation timeline that NetApp had provided on their OnTappy API. Well, that was something that's existed since the time Manila has been around, kind of thing. So there's a lot of people that were relying on that API, and so migrating them off of that API onto REST was supposed to be quite urgent, and we had to have like some sort of a timeline to support that. As a community, that's what we discussed a long time ago. And NetApp proposed a lot of patches to fill in the REST API support. Where several releases have passed, I think NetApp has actually decided not to deprecate, or rather not to remove support for the older API, which probably changed the plans in the NetApp maintainers as well. So I'm unclear of what the status is over here, and I was trying to chat with some NetAppers through the cycle as well, trying to find out. I mean, there are two ways to operate this driver. One is using the OnTappy, one is using REST. The OnTappy and the REST both need to be covered by CI. I think NetApp is prioritizing the OnTappy CI. I can see that there are at least some reports of it of late, but I haven't seen any testing for REST. And is there something that we need to communicate through the NetApp documentation, or maybe some release notes as to whether I mean, what's the status of support for this basically? And that was the first
Yeah.
answer. Yeah, go for it, Sai.
Coming to the rest of, the CI part of the rest, right? We are on it. Manadip is actively working. There is a DNM patch that is trying to, get it stabilized for rest. We are good with Zapier actually, but for the CI, it'll be good in maybe in few weeks. That's what we are expecting. We have an Manadip working on that. Actually, we are more. We are prioritizing from our side for rest because a lot of features are coming in, and we would want to have the CI for rest. It's important, so that's on the list, Gautam. Yeah, it's currently also being looked by Manadip. I think as in when we are talking now, also he's I think looking at some failures of rest. He was talking to me, so it's on the priority. So
Okay, perfect. And
yeah,
does your plan still align to replacing OnTappy with REST, or is it just another mode of using it at this point?
that's actually we have populated some of the answers. So Kumar, would
Okay.
you like to
Yeah.
give bits of yeah.
So Gautam, earlier your assumption or your data is correct. that ONTAP is going to be retired, but that has been kept on hold because a lot of ecosystem and the customers are still on the ONTAP, I mean the Zappy. So we want to support that because there is a customer base. As long as the features that are going to be supported by ONTAP, that will be there. Any new feature that will be coming from ONTAP, that will be only on REST. So for those features, we are anyway implementing using REST as well. And also we are trying to have a backport, not backport, I mean fallback mechanism, which is already in place, which we had done for the barbecue key management recently, right? That's what the current stand is. We're also having some gaps in the Manila and Cinder implementation with respect to REST. There are some parts that are being used. Zappy is being called in REST, and REST is being called in Zappy. So we want to make sure that these two has to be working without having any overlap or dependency. So that kind of gap analysis we are kind of trying to identify now. We just started now. So idea is to start on the Manila and then come to the Cinder, and depending on the data that we identify, how much gap is there, what is the effort and all, we'll be able to circle back with the exact commitments, Gautam.
Thank you. That would be useful, and hopefully at some point, during this cycle, we can get some clarity on that. I mean, for sure, there are some, you know, perhaps users upstream that are confused with this, but a lot more downstream that you don't see in bug reports and such, that are talking, directly to support teams and at Red Hat for perhaps about this. So I'd like to have some clarity whenever you are able to provide that. Thanks.
Sure, sure, Gautam. Myself had started on Manila. We will come back with the data once we have some meaningful effort has been kept. We're actively working on that. You will hear from us soon.
Yeah, maybe in one of our monthly meetings, we will give a concrete update on this. I think Kumar is actually started with this happy to rest gaps.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. I don't think we needed all that time. So perhaps it's good to have something in the parking lot then. Thanks,
Yeah,
Carlos.
no
Yeah,
problem.
Gautam, actually, we noted one topic to discuss. I mean, the same sync snap mirror, looking at the half an hour time. So we also thought maybe 10-15 minutes is enough for this resting. So once we go to the parking lot, if we get some time as a third topic, I mean, we are okay to go as a third topic. No worries. I mean, if the backup testing thing is ready now, we can go ahead, or we can discuss sync snap mirror support now. Anything is fine.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. Sounds good then. Maybe we should cover backup testing and then we can start covering the parking lot items. How does that sound in the order that they were added, possibly?
Makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. If that's okay with everyone, then yeah, let's move to the next topic, which is backup testing. So, Zach, would you like to share your thoughts on the backup testing?
Yeah, sure. Can everyone hear me? Hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is part of the. I'll just put the link I included when I was looking at this in the past. I'll just put the a link for the specific MR that I'm going to be talking about. Basically, this is a cleanup. It's something that should have got in with Flamingo, but I didn't manage to find the time to do it. I've been looking at this a little bit today. I didn't quite have the time yesterday. Trying to basically get Tempest set up on my host, my DevStack instance now. Haven't made that much progress. Haven't quite figured it out just yet. But my plan is to try and get this done as soon as possible. This is like the next thing that I'm working on. as far as share backups. It's the Tempest test, and then it's this forced deletion thing that we were looking at before. So I found there was one link. I can put that in the Etherpad as well. I was wondering if you had like any other resources just for basically setting up Tempest. Because clearly I can run it in Gerrit, but that's not. I prefer to run these locally if possible.
I think we lost you a little bit over there, but I suppose you're asking how this can be set up on a local dev stack, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a few goes at it and never quite managed to get it working. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some documentation that we had around this. Like you. So have you attempted running the tests right locally? I'm assuming for this one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What would be really useful, actually, Carlos? I don't know if there's like I guess for the original, we have for the original share backup one. I should really look at how that was done. What, the problem that I basically have is that I haven't been able to get Tempest to install properly, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's like a.
Sorry to interrupt. Yes, there are a couple of
No, it's okay.
useful things when working with Tempest, and I don't think we've documented this here at this place. There is yeah.
I mean, this is a good document to start with, but I think when you're installing Tempest now, I mean, if you're doing this with DevStack, we should call out
Sure.
specifically that there are some things that are different in DevStack. So DevStack has this concept of virtual environments, right? And it does that. Right now, the default is to use a global virtual environment, and
Yeah.
so installing it this way would you just end up creating a new installation of Manila Tempest plugin, and you'll need a new installation of Tempest. But that's already done for you by DevStack, except it's in its own virtual environment. That you
So
can, yeah.
you
So
actually have
you
to source it. Okay.
right, exactly. So source that virtual environment and then install it there if it's not there. But for all you know, it's actually there already. So when you enable Manila, it should get pulled in as well, and it should get installed as well. That's kind of what I mean. That's part of the DevStack plugin installation. Um,
Yeah.
so it should be more straightforward than what this doc suggests. So what this doc is useful for is probably, I mean, for somebody that's not using DevStack, and we should probably fix that up to say that. But uh, we could try and I mean, I could point you to the CI, local.conf if that helps. And then,
Yeah, that would be very useful. Just so I know what some of like the default parameters I can try running with to match it a little bit better. That would be incredibly useful, actually.
yeah, perfect. And you're using the NFS driver, I suppose, right?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, exactly. So I'll be using the. My plan is to test with the LVM share driver, and then just use the NFS backup driver exactly.
Perfect. And I can just leave some links here for the LVM. There's an LVM job that's run on your patch, and that should have exposed to local.conf as well. And that's here, for instance.
Awesome.
And
Thanks very much, Goffin.
no problem. And if you look at the Tempest parameters over there, there is a thing that says enable service Tempest, and that does that for you. And then there is an option called Tempest plugins and libs from Git. This is where the magic is. So libs
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Git installs, goes clones Manila Tempest plugin from Git.
sure.
And then it the Tempest plugins thing will tell uh, DevStack to go install that plugin inside the VM that it has for Tempest.
Yeah.
And the end of it, when you're trying to run Tempest itself, you'd source that virtual environment, and then you can go ahead do the same configuration that you were doing. Um, and for backup specifically, I think we should have enabled it here in this LVM job. And I'm not sure we have a whole lot of configuration though for backup.
That's okay. That's no problem.
Yeah, give this a shot, and if at all you run into something else, I can help.
Sure, sure. Um, I guess otherwise, if I can mention, there's this long-awaited recipe that I promised for a very long time. That's been in that MR for a while. So if you're interested, like if you want to try out targeted restores yourself without spending a massive amount of effort setting it up, I think I've put like a separate Etherpad in the MR for the Tempest plugin, so that if anybody wants to just try it out and see how it works, it's available to do that. But yeah, otherwise I will look through these very useful comments that you've left me, and I'll probably be working on this. This week has been a bit tricky for me. We've had a couple of people away, so I haven't had as much time as I would have liked to maybe prepare for the Tempest section. But hopefully next week I will have some more time to look at this.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Zach.
Yeah, thanks for working on this.
Yeah. Any more questions, comments, something you'd like to share?
Isaac, I'm going to edit the local.conf on that Etherpad of that you've shared, the targeted resource recipe, and try that the next time you set it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Gautam. Sai?
Sorry, before going to the parking lot, there is a NetApp REST topic we just had, right? So the queries to you and Gautam. I mean, why was this data? I mean, why were we looking for this particular data? If it was about CI, it's okay. I mean, what is the reason behind like we asked these questions, right? What is the absolute drop date, and what are the gaps, and what's the future? Was this a general inquiry? I mean, if it is that way, or any requirement from any customer, or we just wanted to know why.
No, thanks for asking, and it's a valid question. So it's not a requirement from a customer at the moment, and like it's this work started with a lot of pressure, and then we started to look at the issues to understand exactly what needs to be done, and then we merged a lot of the features and so on. And most of the migration to REST was done. But then like this is a huge work, by the way. Like it's like rewriting all of the calls to the storage to in the driver, and then making them like from switching from Zappy, which is on Tappy, to REST. So we had all of the pieces merged, and then previously we had that rush of merging just because like we would have the deprecation and all of that. So at the end, we would, I think they, and Gotham can correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is we wanted to get an idea of what is currently the plan, because we know it changed a bit, but we need to be prepared exactly for if this is going to happen, if REST Zappy is going to be entirely removed, and then
Okay.
we need to just switch to REST. We need to be prepared to make that switch smoothly, and also all of the other distributors of OpenStack or distributors of Manila, they need to be prepared as well. So people are also tracking this outside of upstream, and that means that like we started this work, but at the moment we don't know exactly. We didn't know exactly if it was going to proceed right away, or if we should, like if there's something blocking. What's the timeline for this? So that's an idea. Like that's pretty much trying to get an idea on what is happening, what are the current plans, what are the future plans, and if we should be expecting any changes or what are the gaps as well. So I think all of those questions are here, but the motivation is the one that I just shared. Like we as a community, and also good for distros to understand exactly if these changes are coming and when they are coming, so that they can prepare for all of these changes.
Right. I
Does that
think
make sense?
it's clear. Yeah, makes sense. Got it. Got it. So you just wanted a whole picture of Zappy REST and when it can be done. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure if I
Yeah.
missed any of the reasons. Gotham can correct me on that, but yeah.
Nope, nothing. Nothing else. You got it right.
Mm. Thank you, both of you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. All right. So I think that takes us to parking lot then. Um, maybe we should switch to the next topic, which is snapshot management improvement. I think we have the contributor that proposed this here in the call. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to pronounce your name correctly. Young. Sorry, it's a really bad pronunciation, and please correct my pronunciation of your name. But the nick is that one. So yeah, floor is yours. Would you like to share your thoughts on this?
Hello everyone, my name is Inyoung Hong. Yeah, and I'm with Samsung SDS, where I'm responsible for Manila development and maintenance. I also work a little bit on Cinder. Yeah. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. My English isn't very fluent, so please excuse me if I have trouble understanding during the discussion. Okay, the topic I'd like to bring up is quite simple. When we use snapshot manager, I'd like to propose setting the created add field to reflect the time when the snapshot was actually created in the storage backend, rather than the time it was managed in Manila. Currently, the created add field is set to the time when the snapshot is managed, so I think user cannot easily identify when the snapshot was originally created. So I'm planning to change this so the Mandala update the created add value with the timestamp retrieved from the storage backend. I'd appreciate your thoughts on this proposal, and if the community agrees it makes sense, I'd like to know the best process to proceed. Should I open it as a bug report or blueprint? And additionally, as Ingyong noted in the Etherpad, we have another question. Currently, the Dell Powerscale driver doesn't support several features such as share manage, unmanage, snapshot manage, unmanage, revert to snapshot, mount point name, and QoS. We'd like to know if there are any plans to support this feature in the future, and roughly when they might happen. Uh, right now we are using that app on tap, but we are planning to adopt that PowerScale as well. So we hope this feature can be added as soon as possible. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Great English skills. Your English is good. Don't worry. So yeah, this is a good enhancement, and I believe, I believe this has space for a blueprint or an RFE created on Launchpad. like it can be in form of a bug, but you can name that as an RFE and then mention exactly what are the plans. I'm not against this change, honestly. So I'm not sure if other reviewers have different thoughts on this. So yeah, I believe it's um, yeah, it's a good enhancement. Are you planning to work on this yourself?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes, I'm working on this.
Awesome. All right. I believe, yeah, the blueprint is it's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I will make blueprint.
Yep.
The only thing I'm thinking about this is that I mean, so managing snapshots would probably be done, you know, out of band of managing the share itself. Like, you know, technically the share could have always originated in Manila, and then you could have had a scheduled snapshot that was going on, and you needed to bring that into Manila, and that's fine. That's where this probably helps because this also, I mean, not setting the right created at time and matching it with what is there on the storage system is going to affect some assumptions that Manila makes. For instance, I mean, we don't allow restoring to anything but the most recent snapshot, and you could be managing a snapshot that's actually old, and you could end up, you know, reverting to that, and when you do that, some of the other snapshots that have been created after could be deleted, meaning, and Manila would never know. Those things exist in Manila, perhaps they were taken through Manila, and when you're trying to go restore it, you might realize that those snapshots don't no longer work because you've done a restore with a snapshot that's older than the ones that are in Manila. And so I think this is a good fix to try and match the creator at time from what's there on the storage system to that aspect. But the same thing applies to shares. So when you're bringing shares in, it should have the same behavior as well. That we're probably setting the creator at the time where we are creating a database entry um, in for that share, and so it might be a little confusing to see let's say somebody has a workflow that brings in a share and then immediately brings in the snapshots of the share, and we fixed up the created at update for snapshots, but we've not done that for shares. So you might be confused that a share was created later than its snapshot, and it may not also be about the confusion. It might also affect the same logic where we are checking for the created at times to allow revert to snapshots. I'm hoping that makes sense. It's like a protracted, you know, implication of changing the timestamps. But that's one that I'm aware of where we are checking for the timestamps. And besides that, I think this is just information for end users to track when things occurred in the cloud kinds.
Yeah, makes sense. So then I agree. Yeah, they would be nice if we can get this for both shares and snapshots.
And regarding the PowerScale driver, I think a lot of activity happened in the last release cycle in Flamingo, and I wasn't aware that we. I mean, so manage unmanage is an optional feature, so it's possible that the driver doesn't implement it. And but I do see a patch for revert to snapshot, and that's the link to that. And there, I think the Dell maintainers were telling us that they were shooting for the Gazpacho release to have that added. And so we should probably direct questions to them about these other features. QoS is interesting. We've been talking about a lot about it at this PTG, and so are the others. I think for PowerScale, I think it's the fact that the storage system can do all of this, but the driver needs to support these features. So we need somebody from the from Dell to look at that.
Yes, I agree with that. We can try to get in touch with them or possibly join an upstream meeting and talk about their plans and roadmap. And yeah, thanks for bringing up the change here, Gotham. They are proposing the revert to snapshot, so it's one of the features in this list. But yeah, there are a couple of others here that yeah, they will possibly need to work on if they have the cycles too. All good asks though. Those are awesome features for managing shares and awesome for day two operations. So we can try to get some thoughts from the Dell folks here. I can ping them and ask them to share some thoughts and possibly join one of the upstream meetings to talk about it. How does that sound?
Okay. How long do you think it would take to get a response for the team?
Not sure exactly, but yeah, we can try it with emails or I don't know, an upstream. There's one guy that's usually very responsible, very responsive. Sorry, wrong word. We can try to ping him, and then we can try to get some thoughts on the roadmap for these features.
Okay, how can I get the result?
Yeah, we can put you in touch and then send an email talking about the PTG. The person is Nilish, and then we can ask that. So I would say please share your email, and then I can put you in touch and start a thread.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, is that Nilesh Tatagar
Yep.
from Dell? Okay, fine. You want his email ID?
We have that. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Any other thoughts? I see Gotham. Yeah, you've added the change. Thanks for that, and also the mention to the blueprint. Any other thoughts on this? Awesome. Thank you for bringing this up. If considering the silence, I believe we can go to the next topic, which is the sync snap mirror support and sync snap mirror enhancements, which we discussed yesterday. And first, thank you guys for bringing up these other topics, the snapshot manage, and yeah, they're asking for the plans of the Dell driver. That's really nice. It's awesome to have you guys participating as well, because it also helps us with operators feedback and also features that would be useful to have in the cloud, and helps us, like, prioritize some stuff upstream. So that feedback is really valuable. So really thank you very much for participating and adding your topics here. Yeah, I think that takes us to the next topic.
Yeah.
Side?
Yeah, you can share the Etherpad. Maybe it will not take much time.
Yep.
So yeah, we were talking at the top of hour of this. I mean, yesterday or day before yesterday, right? We were short of time and we wanted to spend some 5-10 minutes extra. So if you go to the last line, maybe we were deciding on whether it's on replica policy or metadata. So we wanted to make replica policy generic, and how that goes with community is what we wanted to know. Are we going to kind of decide on metadata thing, or replica policy generic? I mean, which one do you want us to put efforts on first? And what is the community interest in this? I mean, Gautam or Carlos, before we go and spend time on something, right? What is your suggestion that we should go with? And Kiran can also add points.
Yeah, basically this feature as well as QoS that I discussed yesterday are very much urgent. So we kind of need to start implementation as soon as possible. Probably we could have started 3 weeks ago, but we waited for PTG kind of having this discussion here. So with respect to Snapper, we can go with having additional option to the replica create called as the replica policy, or we can go with the way you suggested, like having a metadata, and then in the metadata we will have this field as a key value pair, which definitely needs to be set during the replica creation itself, and once it is set, we will restrict it from update. So both ways are fine with us. It's just that we need to reach to the conclusion so that I can start the implementation.
Yeah, so I would say, considering the use case that you guys presented yesterday, and also all of the data, I believe that the metadata can be a good approach for this, because it will, I don't know, it already has a lot of built-in features, and then you can just extend the replica controller to also be a metadata capable controller. It's kind of like a useful situation, and also helps with other features that might come in the future as well. Let's say that, I don't know, within 1 year from now, NetApp comes up with another bright solution for replication, making, I don't know, something really more something really interesting, and then people would need to use it. With that, if you need to add another field, then it's possibly ending up becoming a new field in the share replicas, and then that will need to be consumed, and then there are changes to the database again. And then if you have that as a metadata, that's very extensible. As I said, if you'd like to lock the metadata from being updated so that people don't actually touch it, there is the option of doing it with the admin specific API. Admin metadata keys. You can add this to the configuration file, and then do not let such keys being updated. if there is something that I'm missing here, you guys can let me know. And I'm not sure if about Gautam's thoughts as well on this, but I believe the metadata approach is really helping to make this more generic and also extensible in the future. You can reuse it with a lot of different use cases.
Yeah, I think that should be okay. It's just that we don't need to go with the admin only metadata or something. It should be as of now, it should be a simple metadata which anyone can set. The user who is trying to create a replica can also set that, and must should be able to set that. But once it is shared, it basically it's immutable. Once you set to some value and that value is being referred for the replica creation, you won't modify it or delete it. It will that particular metadata will get deleted only during the replica deletion. This kind of checks we can add on top of DB layer. So I think metadata is fine with me. Sai, what do you think?
Yeah, I can work on the design. I mean, coming up with what all the changes maybe again, because we didn't have that in mind earlier, and it got up in the, I mean, Wednesday, right? I was not aware of this kind of stuff. Maybe I missed it somewhere. So I'll work on this, Kiran, maybe to get to the
Yeah.
point, to again discuss with the NetApp folks. I mean, the team, right? So this is something Kumar is here and is listening, but we need to get back and have a discussion and come back. We all are aware of this, whatever we have written for the proposal one, right? Replica policy, and we were thinking of that only. But if everybody is thinking that metadata approach is gonna be a more useful and better thing, and then we are also kind of okay. But I would need to do some homework for this and to get back. Maybe I'll have to talk to Carlos Gautam you once I do some research on this, because you all are aware. I also understand some part of the stuff because and I think I'll come back on this if we are deciding on the metadata stuff. Yeah. And one more thing, Carlos mentioned, yeah, admin specific. I'm not sure then in case of manage, unmanaged stuff, what we will do if we are only doing for admin. But then Kiran told we might not need it is as admin specific, right, Kiran? So,
Yeah, no. So the replica itself, it's yeah, not admin stuff, but with admin, I mean, there are some certain types of metadata, and we introduced this with as part of this change here that I was showing briefly.
yeah.
So we have a configuration option in Manila that if you set a key, for example, let's say that you create your share, you use the metadata approach, and then you create a share replica, and at the moment that you create the share replica, you specify the field like replica policy, right? And then if you do not want that field to be updated in the database, because you know that it won't change anything and it can be misleading. For example, if someone changes that metadata and then the value mismatches in the storage, what's in the storage, so that can be confusing, right? So the thing that I was suggesting, like making admin only is
Ah,
for that specific replica policy, you lock
Yeah.
that metadata. So whenever you get a request to update the metadata whose key is replica policy, only an admin can do that because the admin will understand the implications or that this is also mapped to the storage. So you
right.
can
But
add as a config option. You don't need to do anything or
right. But does this set by admin only or anyone can set it?
admin only, and it's in a configuration file. So you
But
set that.
how? Right. I mean, I know this admin underscore only underscore metadata thing that we have. It's just that if only admin can set the value, oh you mean that this is defined in a conf file and it has a certain keys, and is it correct?
Yes, it is set. So if once it's set, then only administrator can modify. That's what it means. I'm not
Okay,
sure exactly if the,
then
the
it's good.
code is exactly like that for the creation right now, because there are some stuff that we pick up the from drivers at the moment, and we can look at the default now. There is yeah, we currently have scalar filters. So whenever like scalar filters are set, um, at the moment, only admins can modify that, and then you can append this to a list of metadata keys that only administrators can modify. So the user will be able to create it, yes, but only the administrator can update. If that's the case, if you think this is something that can be, I don't know, bad for uh, design or bad for, like misleading people in the future, then you can lock this update and make it only up the admin. But yeah.
Okay. But are we even looking at the updation of that policy? No, right, Kiran? No one should
No, no,
usually.
no, no. That's see. Basically, if you don't want to allow anyone to update,
Hmm.
we can basically restrict the update operation at all, or we can keep using this admin only metadata thing. The
Okay.
only problem with this admin only is that admin can update, but even if admin can update, that value will be having no meaning, and it will be kind of misleading, assuming that someone admin has changed some value
Yeah.
of the replica policy.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's the same case with scheduler filters, right? So technically, if you
Yeah,
have a scheduler filter that's, I mean, it was added at the
right,
time that it was
right,
it was being created, but it doesn't make sense after.
right.
But
So
that's
admin
the
only,
mhm.
yeah, we can keep that in admin only and use the existing functionality.
Exactly, and I think it's at that point just saying it's informational. If our doc needs to be clarifying this, we should clarify that some of these information that's there, it's just set and forget kind of a thing. It can't be unset or reset. That's kind of why it's sits in admin only metadata. And if administrators want that information gone, they can erase it. But that's just it. It doesn't modify anything, even if they do end up erasing it.
Okay. So the reason, okay, the second metadata part is clear, kind of clear. I mean, the reason we are not, I mean, mostly considering the replica policy is that we are ending up creating more params in a table, and also it's not generic. S- Uh,
Yeah, it's mostly about the generic part of it. The introduction of fields to the database, it happens. It's part of this thing. But like we need to look at how the other vendors also act to this, how the other vendors also like configure these kinds of things. And then if it is something really generic, that is something that I don't know, it's the same across backends. For example, when you are configuring security services, and then you have Active Directory. Active Directory is supposed to be the same for everyone, like doing SIFs, or it's kind of like a common term for people that already know, like this stuff when you're configuring access for CIFS. So it's kind of like generic enough that we understand that different sorts of vendors will implement something similar, or it will be familiar to operators and users. And then that's kind of the case in this scenario where like maybe this is the replica policy stuff is not generic enough for everything. So that's why we suggested that maybe this should be material for the share replica metadata. But yeah, we are not
Yeah,
against adding stuff to the database. That's what I'm
no,
trying to
no,
say.
I think we should be okay with this.
Metadata.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because the replication across drivers is also kind of generic. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm not sure. So that's why I wanted some clarification there, because replication, I'm not sure how many. Maybe we need to relook at the drivers, all other drivers. Not sure if every driver is supporting the replication, because how they deal with it, I'm also not sure. So yeah, how generic it is, I'm also not sure. Yeah, maybe others can help if the replication across the vendors or drivers is generic as an info.
Yeah, it is supposed to be like the concept of replicating stuff from within one share server, or one share server to another, or one availability zone to another. It's supposed to be the same across storage. It's pretty much, like even though even we have a lot of replication specific stuff, Like for example,
Mm-hmm.
replicas that are readable, replicas that are writable, like
Right.
replicas that are like disaster recovery. That
Right.
is something that you see across different storage in the industry, right? So replication in itself, it's something pretty generic, but
Right.
each one of the storage vendors will do it in a way, and it will have its own capabilities. As for example, the NetApp have like this snap mirror support. Snap mirror
Right.
is technology in the NetApp industry, in the NetApp
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
storage. Other
Mm-hmm.
vendors might have something similar and call it a different way. So imagine if we introduce something called snap mirror to Manila, that would pretty much be NetApp terminology, and then another
Right.
vendor would have a hard time understanding stuff, rather than we just like call something by a very generic name, right? So that's pretty much the reason behind it. And the replication itself is kind of a feature that we it's common in clouds, and it's generic enough that we can like have some common terms. But in some other scenarios, when things start getting too specific, then we need to take cautious steps to do not make
Mm-hmm.
it look like only one feature that is designed thinking of one scenario
Mm-hmm.
and one storage solution.
Right. Okay. I mean, I get the point. Thank you.
No problem. Any other thoughts on this? Gautam, are you okay with the metadata approach as well? You suggested it yesterday as well as an approach, but yeah, just trying to get your thoughts here.
No, yeah, that's probably the most extensible. Am I audible?
Yes, it seems like you're a bit far, but I can hear you.
Oh, I see. Okay. Switch microphones. I don't think I have anything substantial to say. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. No, yeah. So it's probably going to be the most extensible way of doing this. The idea with metadata a long time ago, we started doing this for all resources, all user-facing resources, and this was kind of the reason we were trying to plumb in anything that needed to go to the backend, at the same time as allowing users some sort of extensibility to their resources, um, where they could start tagging things and using those tags for filtering and things. So it's very useful to have on a user-facing resource like a replica. Like for instance, today you don't really know why you created a replica, and especially when you have fan-out replication, you might have multiple replicas for a share, and you don't really have a whole lot of information that you can put in the Manila database to denote stuff, for instance. So it adding this would have good side effects. Uh, Basically, it'll extend use cases. Of course, it also gives you a vehicle to get this new replication policy in.
Okay. Thank you, Gautam. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, thank you all. Just a small extending statement that the QAS spec that we discussed yesterday is also the top priority. So, can you give some time for the review in the coming weeks?
Sure thing.
Thanks.
Absolutely. I'll take a look at that and share the feedback. Awesome. Thank you. Any more thoughts on replication updates?
No, yeah, good. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So a couple of minutes before happy hour, but let's take a team picture. I'll stop the recording now.